Thank you, staff. Thank you, members of the public, both joining us here and joining us online. This meeting is live streamed, and I welcome all those who are in attendance. And I'd also like to acknowledge the Wadandi Noongar people and their ongoing connection to land, waters and community. And we do pay our respects to the elders past, present and emerging. There's one announcement from myself. It saddens me to announce that we had the passing of a former councillor, Councillor Juliet Harrop, who served on council both here in the city of Bunbury between 2008 and 2011, and I understand also served for a number of years on the council of Kalamunda, I believe. I know she was also well known with a number of members in the audience. Juliet passed away a few weeks ago. Juliet did have an opportunity to come and see her name on the honour board, I'm told, after that was installed a few months ago. But we do obviously acknowledge her contributions to not only council but the community, and our thoughts are with her family. We are all here this evening, thank you. And we do have decorations that we've received from Councillor Andrew and Councillor Brown, which are on the screen in front of us. They are both financial interests, so both members will be leaving the meeting for those items. Are there any other decorations of interest, councillors? Thank you. We haven't received any notices for public question time, and there was some responses to the public questions taken on notice last week, which are in the minutes. We have the minutes of the OCM from the 29th of April. Is somebody happy to move that's a true and accurate record? Thank you, Councillor Quain. A seconder, Councillor Kozisek. Those in favour, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Come on in. There's chairs over the other side there. And we haven't received any minutes from advisory committees as yet. I don't believe we've received any petitions, councillors. We'll be dealing with a petition that has been received previously, but we'll deal with that later. No presentations. We do have two deputations tonight, one on item 10.3.4 and one on item 10.3.5. Those who approve those deputations, please indicate. That's carried, thank you. I understand both of those members of the public have made deputations before, but when we get to your item, we'll call you up to make your deputation. You have 10 minutes. It's not a Q&A opportunity, it's a chance to raise any points you have about the council agenda item before we go into debate, but we'll call you up when we get to that item. So councillors, dealing with the agenda for this evening, coming out for discussion, we do have item 10.3.3, as that does require an absolute majority. Item 10.3.5, which has a deputation and a financial interest. 10.4.1, which Councillor Andrew has a financial interest in. Sorry, 10.3.4 as well, as we have deputation from a deputation on that item, 10.3.4 that was, and the motion notice will be dealt with as well. So just to repeat, items for discussion, 10.3.3, 10.3.4, 10.3.5, 10.4.1 and 12.1. Was there any other items to be discussed, Councillor Steck?
10.3.2, sir.
10.3.2, thank you. Any other items, councillors? If that's the case, is somebody happy to move the remainder are carried en bloc? Thank you, Councillor Steele. Second by Councillor Steck. I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. That's carried. Thank you. Moving along through the council, we'll just go through them as written. 10.3.2, did you have a question on this, Councillor Steck? Or were you? I'll get it on the table, sorry, first, Councillor Steck. Somebody happy to move the executive recommendation? Councillor Quain, a seconder to that. Thank you, Councillor Andrew. Was a question or speaking against, Councillor Steck?
A couple of questions, first of all, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Just that on page, let me see, it's stapled, 44 of 124 in relation to the Bicentennial Square Precinct Plan. Just that the information that I have here, I just have a few questions. And I feel that I'm questioning as to why it's a confidential document firstly, since there is no commercial in confidence in it. So can I please ask why it's actually a confidential document?
What item are you referring to here, Councillor Steck? I don't think there is a confidential item on this item.
No, but having said that, sir, there's some questions that I want to ask in relation to this project that I can't ask because...
So this is in regards to the Bicentennial Square project?
Yes, sir, yes.
So I understand that that's probably noted in this business plan. The actual project itself and the brief will be coming back to council in 2 rounds, potentially, CEO, where there'll be the chance to ask those questions at that stage, and I would probably indicate that's probably the best of time to take those questions, Councillor Steck.
Okay, so then I will proceed to ask the question in relation to the project delivery, because this document here clearly states that the project close is between April and June, and it states in this document that the community consultation is complete. When I look at the community consultation, did any pictures go out to the community, or was it questions only, sir?
Thanks, Councillor Steck. I know there is some more community consultation to take, so maybe we need to have a look at where that's just completed, but I'll ask the CEO if he wants to make a comment on that.
Thanks, Mayor. I think the words in the report talk about the first stage of community consultation is complete, so that is the input that we've got from the community and from a wide range of stakeholders that will form part of the next stage, which is bringing that back to council. So from all of the consultation that has already been done, and with the community and with the stakeholders, there will be a plan that comes back, and as the Mayor has just outlined, that will be subject to a briefing to elected members, and then ultimately a decision for elected members for that to go out to full community consultation. So, as I said, your first point was around community consultation. The comments are it is the first stage. The project isn't complete, and there will be the briefings and then the report that comes back.
I'll just reiterate that, Councillor Steck. So that item that's going to come to council is for council to adopt this to go back up for advertising. So it won't be a council adopting a plan at that stage. It'll be that next stage of community consultation.
Mr Mayor, will it then be considered by the community that that is council's preferred plan?
We'll have to cross that bridge when we move to that, Councillor Steck. At this stage, this is just around what things we're working through, but obviously at that stage, I would assume council will have some form of preference to go back out to the community. But I think, I know it sounds like a lot of questions on those things, and we can certainly have those in when that time comes, Councillor Steck, at council.
Okay, thank you, sir. So
Thank you.
when it goes to the community, we will be advertising the actual picture form?
Yes.
Thank you.
Councillor Steele.
Just to add on to that as well then, will we also have a presentation by the traffic modelling company?
CEO.
Thank you, through you, Mayor. The briefing will certainly cover the traffic monitoring, so that is represented in the briefing. If you want a separate, if there was desire for a separate briefing from the consultants, we can certainly do that. But at this stage, it would be us reporting it in the briefing on the traffic modelling that has been done.
Further question, Mr Mayor, please, if I may.
Thanks, Councillor Steck.
I know that last committee, OCM, I raised the issue of the other provision of a documentation in relation to the lanes on Kumbana Drive and Blair Street. I believe Councillor Steele also asked for that. So when will we see those alternative diagrams, please, sir?
I'm going to respond to how I answered earlier. This is going to be a much more detailed report on that particular project coming, and we can have those questions in both the lead-up. There'll be the opportunity for a briefing session where, if you're not satisfied with the information you're provided, you can request that before it comes to council, before you're asked to make a decision. So I think if I can request we park those for when we're actually dealing with that very specific project. I'm sure you're being heard during this part, but obviously there'll be that opportunity again to raise these matters and make sure that they're dealt with when we deal with that very particular project, given that this corporate plan is talking about the projects as an overall. Thank you, Councillor Steck. Any other questions on the corporate business plan? Is there likely to be any debate against this? If that's the case, I'm happy to move it as is. Those in favour, please indicate. Those against? 2 against, that's carried, thank you. Item 10.3.3, we have the executive recommendation there. Is somebody happy to move that recommendation? Thank you, Councillor Kozak. Councillor Steele, second. Is there likely to be any debate on this item, councillors? I'll put that. Those in favour, please indicate. That's carried, thank you. 10.3.4, the operational review report. So we have a deputation here from, let's say, Councillor McCleary, former Councillor McCleary. Betty, thank you. Thanks, Betty, and you have 10 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor Jason McGill and councillors. Thank you for approving my request to present this reputation in regards to the 10.3.4 of the Agenda Review Report Withers Community Library. My name is Betty McCleary and I live at 15 Hakea Crescent, South Bunbury. By mayoral invitation, delegates from the Save the Withers Community Library Action Group and self met yesterday with our mayor and executives to discuss this recommendation. And I'm pleased to say it is overwhelmingly supported by our action group and the wider community. We feel the 12-month trial commencing in September 2025 offered is reasonable and achievable for success. During our discussions, it became very evident management had put many hours researching and planning the best way forward for the success of the working future of the library for the community. I pause for a moment to say, on behalf of the local community, I sincerely thank City Management, Karen and Georgina May and their staff for their diligence and dedication to the work at hand. It shows this is a responsible recommendation before you. Their vision for the future of the library appears to align with ours, to bring about appropriate, relevant, interesting and informative programs that will have families and individuals keen to participate. I'm confident valuable new programs of interest for our community of First Nations people, of whom we have 7.9% population in Withers, will also be included. Benefits outweigh the costs. Libraries are a local gateway to knowledge, providing the foundation for lifelong learning, independent decision-making, cultural development and social cohesion within our community. It is researched and proven that education reduces criminology. Also, libraries are an opportunity for people whose budgets will not stretch to commercial entertainment and socialising to visit their local library and socialise with other library users with much in common. Meeting your neighbours, once again, a proven way of halting crime and antisocial behaviour. I end with mentioning the results of your community scoreboard survey just released. 1,200 participated. That's a fantastic number. Among the top performers are the Southwest Sports Centre, library services and facilities, and waste management. Libraries are in the top 3. That's fantastic. Councillors, on behalf of the people who support and believe in libraries being a valuable resource for our community, and in particular Withers Community Library, we humbly ask you support and endorse your executive's recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Steele, happy to move. We have a mover. Councillor Steck, happy to second. Is there likely to be any debate on this, councillors? If that's the case, I'll put the executive recommendation. Those in favour, please indicate. That is carried unanimously, and that item becomes the new council item. So for those in the room, that's been carried. There were some conversations. Obviously, there'll be some work in the next few months to deliver some of that more community consultation. So we look forward to those. Those conversations will continue. But what council has effectively done here is given the executive and administration the ability to budget for some of those changes that we've been discussing, and that'll form part of the budget going forward. Still to be adopted, of course. Our budget will be not formally adopted until July, but that's obviously been given the direction. So for those who are wondering, that's now that decision of council. So thank you. You're very welcome to stay, but if anyone who would like to leave, thank you, would like to leave now, it's your prerogative. I'll give you a couple of moments if you would like to leave. While we have one of our elected members is leaving anyway for a declaration of interest, so if you would like to leave now, you have that opportunity. Mr. Collins. Thank you, John. Sorry, I removed your crowd. Oh, and that wasn't me. For those who can hear me, we'll just adjourn the meeting until we get this settled. So officially we're still meeting, but I'm just going to call that, I'll say a 10-minute adjournment. And if you'd like to leave the room, feel free to. It's one on one.
I'm good. I'm not that good. I know. Shouldn't touch that.
No, make it worse.
You want them off, Maureen, or on? Do you want them on? Do you want these on?